Hi, this is Shelley Kraft. We're coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the AdvaMed Conference 2011, and we're at the MedTech Conference here in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. I have Phillip Chan, Dr. Phillip Chan of Cytosorbents. Ladies and gentlemen, symbol CTSO. I want to hear everything. We don't have a lot of time, but I want to hear it. So please be my guest and welcome to SNNLive.
Great. Thank you very much, Shelley. My name is Dr. Phillip Chan. I'm the CEO of Cytosorbents Corporation. We are a publicly traded, critically care-focused medical device company trying to use blood purification to treat life-threatening illnesses such as sepsis, burn injury, trauma, acute respiratory distress syndrome, pancreatitis, and a number of other diseases that are commonly seen in the intensive care unit.
And how do you do that?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. This is our flagship product, Cytosorb. This is now approved in the European Union as a broad extracorporeal cytokine filter designed to try to treat something called cytokine storm in critical care illnesses. Now, if you've ever had the flu, the fevers, the chills, the body aches, the fatigue, the severe feeling of being sick, that's really not the virus. It's really your body's immune response against the virus that is causing you to feel that way. The production of things particularly called cytokines. Cytokines are small proteins that are manufactured by the immune system that help stimulate and regulate the immune system to help you fight infection. But in critical care illnesses like that are seen in the intensive care unit, like sepsis and others, the body's immune system goes awry and manufactures massive quantities of these cytokines to the point where they don't just make you feel bad, but they actually cause cells to die, they kill organs, leading to organ failure and often death. And multiple organ failure is actually one of the leading causes of death in the intensive care unit today.
So, how do you conquer that?
Sure. Within this cartridge here, this is technically called a Hemoperfusion Cartridge. In this cartridge, there are hundreds of thousands of tiny polymer beads. These are highly biocompatible, very porous polymer beads that during our manufacturing process, we can make the pores as small or as large as we want to. And if we make, so to be able to remove things as small as drugs to things as large as antibodies from blood and other bodily fluids. This particular polymer is designed to remove things in what we call the cytokine sweet spot, where most of the cytokines lie, like interleukins, interferons, tumor necrosis factor, and other things lie. And because it was specifically designed to reduce cytokine storm, it actually works extremely well. And we just finished a European clinical trial. We call it our European sepsis trial, where in 43 patients with predominantly septic shock, so 100%, nearly 100% of these patients had septic shock, which is the worst form of sepsis. Sepsis is the body's overzealous immune response to a severe infection, right? That has a very high mortality, typically on the order of 30%.
Your body's in shock.
That's exactly right. Your body's in shock, and not only your body's in shock, but your body's immune system is actively killing critical organs and leading to mortality.
So run me through it. I come into the ER.
Yeah.
I'm diagnosed with sepsis.
That's right.
They're going to take out my blood and run it through your product.
Right. So so typically patients come in with sepsis. They typically have a couple of major infections. Typically pneumonia, roughly about 60% of infections, abdominal infections related to some gastrointestinal process, and also urosepsis related to urinary tract infections. Typically those patients get treated with antibiotics, which is standard of care for the treatment of sepsis. But the problem with sepsis is that it's really two-faceted. One facet is currently being treated, that is the infectious insult, right? And that's being treated with antibiotics and antiviral therapy. But the other part of sepsis...
So they're treating the symptoms.
Well, they're treating the initial cause, but they're forgetting about the other part of sepsis, which is the body's immune response and the production of the cytokine storm that until recently no one had the ability to impact. So what we're doing with this particular therapy is we're trying to reduce that immune response and trying to reduce that cytokine storm that is leading to this insult to the body's organs, leading to organ failure and often death.
How little is known about cytokine storms?
Actually, there's a lot known about cytokine storm. There are actually more than 10,000 published journal articles related to cytokine storm.
But I wouldn't have known about it myself if I didn't come to AdvaMed and have met you.
Well, that's in fact a recent study showed that most people, actually, the lay American public, do not know really about sepsis, even though it is one of the top 10 leading killers in the world. It afflicts about 18 million people worldwide, about 1 million people in the United States, 1.5 million in Europe.
So this is a pretty big market.
It is a very big market. In fact, more people die of sepsis in the United States than either from heart attacks or strokes or any single form of cancer. So it's really a big problem, a major unmet medical need that currently there's very little to do to treat it.
Philip, I'm trying to tell you that the public has no idea how dangerous this is.
Yeah, and that's really the key. I think, but the thing to note is that people have been dying from infection and sepsis since the beginning of time.
They just didn't know that it was...
They just didn't know it was called sepsis. That's exactly right.
Okay. Let's first of all get your information out. I need the website immediately.
Okay. It is www.cytosorbents.com, CYTOSORBENTS.
And you're a public company. The symbol is CTSO. Are you going to be speaking anywhere? I mean, where are you located? We have to get the word out to people.
Well, thank you. Well, we're located in central Jersey, just north of Princeton and Monmouth Junction. That's actually where we manufacture this product that is now for sale in the European Union. And I will be actually at the European Society of Intensive Care Medicine next week. I just spoke at AdvaMed here just about an hour ago. And so what we were very excited to talk about was our European sepsis trial data. We showed that the treatment was safe in more than 650 human treatments. We also demonstrated that it is a very effective cytokine filter, and it's doing what we want it to do. But not only that, we demonstrated that the removal of these cytokines was resulted in actually an improvement in survival, which is very critical.
Let me ask you, how do your polymers take the cytokines out?
So if you look in this cartridge, it is made up of again these
salt.
Exactly. These are each particle is roughly about the size of a grain of salt. But if you magnify them up close, what you will see are millions of pores and channels in them that basically have the ability to suck toxins out of blood based on size, as well as what we call surface adsorption. Things stick to the surface of the cartridge. A single one of these cartridges has the surface area of 7 football fields in it. Right, just massive capacity to be able to do the job that we want it to do.
And I'm sure that there's some proprietary technology within those polymers that attract those cytokines to those polymers, correct?
That is correct. In fact,
I had a feeling.
In fact, this is a highly biocompatible porous polymer bead. We have 29 issued patents on the technology. It's a very powerful and well-developed technology.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I could speak to Philip for a long time. I'm really over the top, both impressed and concerned. So I want you to know more about this. Go to the website as soon as you can. Spread the word. Tell your ER doctors when you get to the ER, hey, I might have this if you're showing symptoms. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get that website one more time.
www.cytosorbents.com.
All right, hold this so I can shake this
Shelley,
hand.
appreciate it. Thank you very much.
What a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.